Commissioner Moya's not on. Now he is. District 2, Paul, you're on now. Okay, we're ready.
Okay, this is the Tucumcari Housing Authority Board meeting, April 30th, 2020. First on the agenda is roll call.
Mayor Litchfield.
Here.
Commissioner Moya.
Here.
Mr. Durkin.
Here.
Commissioner Arias.
Here.
Commissioner Villanueva.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Here.
Next is considerations of changes or deletions to the agenda.
There are none.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to accept the agenda as is.
I'll second it.
Now I need a motion first.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Roll
I was gonna say I first.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Commissioner Arias.
Yes.
Commissioner Moya. Mayor Litchfield.
Yes.
Mr. Durkin.
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva.
Yes, sir.
Next is resolution 2020-06-HA, transfer of all real and personal properties. You want to go with this?
Chris, do you want me to, or do you want to?
Either way, go ahead, Vicki.
This is just a resolution clarifying that Eastern Regional will transfer, or the transfer will also include the 4 single-family homes and the 1 multi-family property, also known as chaparral.
This was something that come up last meeting when we were discussing whether or not those properties would be taken and accepted through Eastern Regional Housing Authority. After that meeting, I talked with Mr. Herbert Volt on this, as well as the professional services agreement based on some of the comments we had received back from the commission. So with that being stated, I just wanted to make it clear and put it in writing in a resolution format to show that we are going to be signing and transitioning everything over to Eastern Regional. We have discussed that verbally, but we needed something in writing. And that way we have that paper trail when we go to retitle these properties, as well as the vehicles and just all property involved, all real property, even the equipment, mowers and whatnot, because it was all purchased through federal and state funds, not city of Tucumcari funds. That way we could get it back to them. They're the rightful owner and transition that to Eastern Regional.
And, but we also have what we call chaparral's apartment. I recall we were discussing that during lunch. I thought we already had management for it.
That transfers with the merge, and we'll,
But
For
we're not
now.
even managing the money
No,
or
it's-
anything on there. Why should we even bother transferring chaparral?
because the title is in Tucumcari Housing Authority's name. The loan is under Tucumcari Housing Authority.
I hope it don't turn to a mess.
Any other questions, comments?
I do. Almost dealing with these properties, if they do become a mess, are we gonna have a point of contact we can go to? Because even though it's not gonna be our responsibility anymore, I know I've said this before, it's gonna come back to us.
Oh, well.
And I would like to know who we can call if they're not keeping up with the properties.
Chris, would you like to answer that? Did you hear that?
Yes, I heard that. And sir, I can give you my cell phone number. You can call me directly if something isn't done properly.
At present. The other question I have, even though we're dismantling Tucumcari public housing, that being said, chaparrals can actually remain under Tucumcari housing, even if it's under a different thing. Because the whole deal is Tucumcari housing is transferring most of the real estate and other things, but we can pull properties that are not in trouble out if we choose to, like the chaparral apartment, since they have been managed and are complying with the federal requirement, and their money had not been withheld at all. Where the idea of it, just thinking that we could just transfer it, but if we want to get rid of everything, then it's okay. Does that make sense? But that the public Tucumcari chaparral, as you said, comes under a different, we can keep. Yeah, because that thing has not been sanctioned by the federal government, and it's a total different program. It is, like the lady said, it's under, what is it, not hot, but the other one,
Section eight.
no.
No, that's you.
USDA.
USDA, something like that.
USDA.
Yeah, something, yeah. So actually, that is something that is up to the commission, whether they want to pull it out, off of it. The other properties, you can let them go, it's not a problem, but that chaparral, it should be considered by the commission to, because I don't think you guys were presented, I don't feel I was presented that would be part of the deal.
It has been a whole-
Has it been? It's been in there every time.
But they did not sanction their money, there's a total different money coming in from SDA versus the hot money that the lady was talking about. But it's up to the commission what they want to do, but, we have to look at it realistically, what is it that, what's presented to us and what I felt was presented to us.
The 30-year note will be coming due. And because it doesn't pay down as quickly as it should, and the city is required to have X amount of subsidized housing, we have discussed this in the past of how are we gonna find financing for $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 to either put her into the city or at the time Tucumcari housing.
Because when I suggested that we pay off chaparral with the reserves, you objected to it.
You can't mix
Okay,
HUD with
so then we're
USDA.
talking two different entities, and that's what I'm pointing out.
Chris, I need some help here.
The issue is that this was discussed with us, that these 4 properties in Chaparral would go in package. That it is a USDA property, it's RD property. Therefore, it is not under the HUD, it is not under the HUD issues of the troubled status.
That's right.
So, it is up to the commission to decide whether or not they want to transfer that property. I believe it's the commission to decide whether they want to keep that as a part of the city's operations, or if they want to transfer that with the rest of the properties.
Could we afford it?
No.
If we did that, would we still operate as the Tucumcari Housing Authority for that purpose only, for the chaparrals?
We'll still be the agent for that.
I guess my concern is, essentially for all intents and purposes, what's this transformation, at least for the HUD stuff goes through? There is no Tucumcari Housing Authority. We're losing our employees. They're all going over to Eastern Regional. So we do not have anybody internally within the city that specializes in that. And we all know with the current budget system, there's no way we could.
Yeah, but the whole deal is that thing has been contracted out, and they have their own maintenance people, they have their own management people. The only thing is, we're the ones, the agency or the owners of it. That's the difference. It's not like we're gonna retain all the employees from public housing to go work at chaparrals. We're not. They're going with a deal.
It's true, sir.
And so, you see, you're looking at somebody who already has the city has a management and the employees already as part of that entity. It's not like, yeah, we're not gonna have the public housing, we will have the public housing as a agent for the city in reference to the chaparrals, if we decide to retain them. But this is something that, the point of clarification needs to happen. I mean, you don't just do things without really discussing it and thinking what's in the best interest of the community. If it's in the best interest of the community to transfer, that's up to you guys, but I don't like these little things.
Yeah, well, and I agree. I don't recall chaparral being a part of this from the beginning. I don't, maybe it's just I didn't read it thoroughly enough. But and maybe it's just sticking out because it's, shortened down. Maybe it's just sticking out now.
No, the whole deal was that the forceful merger with this other agency was due to the fact of the faulty, or whatever they wanted to talk about, points against us in the audit, and it did not include the chaparrals. That came as a different entity later on, because chaparral was still maintaining their funding.
So is the contract that we have with Monarch, is that through Tucumcari Housing or is that through the city of Tucumcari?
City managers have signed the last two contracts.
I mean, I thought this commission doesn't want to transfer it, but I just like things for clarification, and I don't like the idea of being brought in at the last minute, even if it was brought up later on, but we were so focused on the audit that we you know, it was not brought on as a primary discussion.
Well, I do remember it being mentioned, but, and I think you had brought it up and had asked about it, and it was kind of, in my opinion, kind of glossed over because the whole focus was on these other parties.
The hunt money.
Because we had asked about, we already had a private entity, I think this is when it came up, we already had a private entity watching one. My question, and I concur with you, if the commission wants to go ahead and add it all in, I'm okay with that. But what is the cost to the city to keep those? Is that costing us?
Right now, we're paying the mortgage directly out of the rental part, and then, I think the city right now is not spending the money to do the mortgage payment, because the mortgage payments are pretty low, if you look on the audit report. The thing that it was mentioned was, when I brought it up, was the whole idea of, well, does this include the chaparrals? Remember, I brought it in because I said, do we have a contract with them in management with them? And they said, no, that's under, that's the USDA project, that's not hot. That's that's when we started a little discussion, and then we left it at that.
Do we have those numbers of what it would cost us to hold on?
I haven't seen them, no.
Because I remember we did have discussion with Chaparral before, because their budget was not, I didn't like it, and eventually started to look good, because I questioned a lot of it, and then all of a sudden the reserves started to come up, and now we're at 100 and some thousand in reserves, which was good, before we were zero. But it's up to you guys, it's up to the commission. I don't really, but I do like the idea that if we're gonna represent the people, we must be given a good understanding of what we're doing. But Chaparral is not the one with the audit problems or the, whatever the heck the lady wanted to say. So it's all up to you, it's up to the commission. I'm not saying anything other than I'm pointing out the separation of what we discussed.
That's the first time I ever seen it or anything. It's today.
And I think that's been some of the confusion and why we had to have something in writing to move forward, because in previous conversations that I was part of, it was discussed, but it was always just verbal. It was never in writing. So this is the first time that you guys have it in writing. I know I've been hearing about it for a while.
I can share with you, I have a statement in this binder from United States Department of Agricultural Development, and my apologies, I don't keep current ones in here. This is dated 12/31/17, and the balance of the loan at that time, so 2 years ago, was $798,877.
71.
798,877. So how that works is, Monarch, who is the property management company, they get subsidy to manage the apartment, and the fee, or excuse me, the loan payment comes out of the subsidy. So there's no money exchanged from USDA RD to Monarch.
No, I understand that part.
So,
I understand that
So
part. We're
if
talking
you-
about the payment now. Of the
right,
loan.
so 2 years down the road, we're almost 2.5 years down the road. I can't imagine that the balance is much less than
It might be.
a high
around,
600,000.
Yeah, 500.
So- It's due in 30 years. This loan was made August 1st of 1991. So,
That's 21 next year.
mhm.
But it's up to the commission. I said, it's up to them. That's certainly.
Well, I don't see any feasible way for us to.
Well, how are we gonna do it if we hadn't gotten in trouble. Were we gonna refinance it, or what was happening there?
We have to refinance.
Yeah, that's what I mean, they were gonna refinance it, which is a pretty common thing to do. But it's up to the commission, you know, you don't let that stop you from making a rational decision. You know, because we can go back and refinance it.
I just worry about the financial liability that it poses to the city.
Well, it has posed it regardless since 1991, it's not like something new coming down the street. We have assumed that liability and that responsibility when we agreed to take it on.
And I'm not sure what the city budget looked like in 91, but I can tell you right now, we're all aware it's tight right now.
But right now, we're not pulling anything out of city budget to finance Chaparral.
Not
Not
now,
a penny, not a penny.
but the potential in the future.
And I think if you look at the numbers that were coming in, and now they're putting some money in the reserve, which is looking good. Before, it was not looking good. I think 4 years ago, we were still at zero, but now I think we were at 100 or some thousand right now. And that within 3 years, so we started questioning the financial statement. But it's up to the commission, that's all I'm saying, is let's get real, let's deal with it on a realistic, because that's a decision that all of us have to answer to the taxpayers.
Well, I'm glad to see that, we got it on paper what we're looking at. You know,
Yeah, don't sign a blind check.
Does the contract we have with Monarch transfer over what to the regional housing authority?
Yes,
So there's not gonna be any shakeup to the residents there?
no,
No, actually, there can't be any, because most of the funding is based on their incomes and their residential.
Yeah, well, anytime you change
Yeah.
management, it kind of shakes things up, so I just don't wanna.
Yeah.
Any undue stress. I don't know.
I guess the next thing is, you want to have a motion as is, or you want to make a change?
I'm gonna leave this one up to the commission at this point in time.
Well, I have at the last meeting, Chris, you were pretty adamant that you didn't want the properties. What was the change of heart?
Well, we had originally agreed to it, it just, because of our lack of non-federal funds to be able to do anything with those units, it was just an issue for us in which we were hesitant. Although we did agree to it actually, I didn't want to throw the commission a curveball and say, oh, now we're not going to take them. And so we did agree to take them. So that's still our issue with particularly the 4 units is those are going to be difficult properties to do disposition with because we don't have money to do big recaps on them. So, but no real cheese cards. There's a certain degree of hesitancy with those 4 units. Chaparral is somewhat neutral for us. We have operated RD properties, rural development properties to the USDA before. But it was not a part of the HUD issue that simulated the transfer, so.
Okay. So if there was, I know Commissioner Moya brought up in the past that, there was funding available on this side of the state for, I believe it was for homeless housing, Commissioner, right?
It's a grant that will be coming out. All we have right now is my agency has allocated $2,500 for a period of time because of coronavirus for homeless people.
So
But that's also just for helping, those that are having a hard time that are unable to have a living quarters.
So if there was an entity that wanted to work with you all on getting those properties, would you all be able to work with them?
Oh, sure, yeah, if there's an entity that would like to purchase those properties, we would be happy to do that, that would be fine.
Okay, thank you.
And particularly if they're going to utilize them to assist, low or moderate income families in the area, we would be happy to have that happen, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve resolution 2020-06-HA.
Do I have a second? Okay. Motion dies, I guess, for the lack of a second.
I would like to make a motion, that we do it at this point without the chaparral apartments on here.
Yeah.
I would like to know more, you know, this is kind of, I didn't see chaparral involved in this till just now, and I think if we go voting and without knowing the effect of it, we do have, if I'm correct, till the 1st of July, or when?
That's for the other properties that,
Oh, May 1st.
May first.
May first, but that was,
Tomorrow.
yeah, that was not the chaperones that were in trouble. It is with public housing.
I know.
And I don't think it's so much right now, as far as the city standpoint, in my opinion, it's not so much as what's in trouble, it's what's the best business move for the city of Tucumcari.
And that's the part that I don't feel like I could honestly vote to have that put away, not knowing more, I guess is the best way to put it. But I would make a motion for, this resolution 2020-06-HA with chaparral not involved in it at this point.
In other words, you're saying we'll pull out the chaperone aspect part.
Yes.
So I will check that.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Litchfield,
No.
Commissioner Arias,
No.
Commissioner Moya,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis,
Yes.
Mr. Durkin.
Yes.
All right, next on the agenda is approval of the professional services agreement.
So I believe for clarification, paragraph 5 was the biggest concern.
The payment for the services.
Correct.
I have a concern for number 7. Why does there have to be a 90-day written notice for termination of contract if they're taking this over? What worries me about this, and it's probably just simple-mindedness on my part, what if they want to back out of this after they've taken the money?
Yeah.
And they decide after 90 days, you know, all of a sudden 2 years from now, they give us a 90-day that they're gonna turn this back over to us, and we have nothing in the account anymore. I hate to say I don't trust people, but I don't trust a lot of people. So I'm just kind of curious, if they're taking this over, why does there have to be a termination clause?
Doesn't every contract have a termination clause?
But they're taking this over from us. They're taking this from us. I don't see where that should be even, there shouldn't be an option for them to back out of this. Seeing it's like me buying a business. I didn't sign any termination clauses to my businesses, and as far as I'm concerned, they're taking over this business.
Well, then I'll agree that they kind of gave us an ultimatum, but we did vote to turn it over before they forcefully took it.
But they're taking it over. You know, there's, I'm close to $750,000 here that would be in this, that they're gonna be taken over. Now, in 3 years, they give us a notice that they're gonna terminate this contract. It comes back to us, and there's less than $100,000 in that account. Why is that gonna come back to us? I'm not saying it will, but I just don't understand why that would have to be in there if they're taking it from us. I know that it's probably not a,
Chris, what do you want to say?
This is for these regional housing authorities. As you read the contract, you'll notice there that the management agreement, this contract exists only until such a time as full transfer of what they call the ACC, which is your annual contribution stock. So there'll be a period of time, a few months here during the summer and possibly into the fall, while HUD is doing the official transfer of their contract on the property. from THA to ERHA. But that contract will end when the transfer occurs. There won't be two entities there. Those properties will be transferred and programs will be transferred to ERHA fully. And so there won't be coming back to you in 2 or 3 years. The termination clauses are written in there by the attorneys usually, from HUD. So for their purposes, mostly to make sure that HUD has a kill switch on any termination, make sure that if any termination occurs, that HUD gets the last say on it. Is usually why those are in there. But the same rules that apply to you in regards to those federal funds apply to us. So in other words, we couldn't take the money. That would be federal fraud, and we would be liable criminally for that if the money disappeared and wasn't accounted for properly. So that is going to be the case in 2 or 3 years. There won't these properties and programs will be fully transferred to the Eastern region as part of their housing authority, and so that there won't be any going back to the city or turning that back over.
Okay.
Usually the transfers are usually irrevocable. They will not return them to a previous entity.
So once everything's transferred, we're done. This agreement's done.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. So any other comments, questions? I'd entertain a motion to approve the professional services agreement.
I'll make a motion that we approve the professional service agreement.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Commissioner Moya?
Commissioner Morway, who represents District 1, it will be voting no because it's not in the best interest of my constituents at this point. So I want it to be public record that we're not in agreement in this project.
Commissioner Gamera?
I vote no.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes. Okay. Meeting's adjourned.
We need a motion to adjourn.
Oh, we need a motion. to
I'll make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
So,
Okay. Roll call.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
Commissioner Gamera?
yes.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
Yes.
Commissioner Moya?
Hey, thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. I'll follow up with a phone call in a little bit.